Record on this. Action.
Now, why are you saying action?
Because I'm fucking recording. Yeah, that changes the whole dynamic. I'm you now. I have a better mic. I sound good. You're flustered. Your shit's fucked up. This is a role reversal. It's the Seinfeld episode.
I'm not flustered. You literally are just talking about how much anxiety you have. You're like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And I'm like, you'll be fine. Literally the exact opposite's happening.
But I'm just saying, like, you're like me in the beginning remember when I had terrible sound? Remember that? Remember those days?
You sound like shit right now, but I think it's because my phone sucks.
I sound great. You sound like shit.
To let everybody know, I am in Portland, which this city's just crumbling around me.
Oh, is it?
I mean, everyone warns you. It's like, I literally got here and turned on the TV and it was like, is Portland dead? I'm like, what? I hope not. I got fucking 5 shows. But anyways, my computer, the Wi-Fi here sucks. It's an old shitty hotel. It looks like the Eastern Bloc. It's all cement and gray.
Are you in that part of the town where they created it themselves, like Chaz or whatever, where the hipsters took it over? You know that place in Portland?
No, what's Chaz? I know
maybe that's Seattle. Was that Seattle? And one of the it was like a South Park episode. A bunch of the anarchists just was like, we declare this street our own town. It was like a family. It's called Chaz or Chad. I think it was called Chad. It was just called one of their white guy names.
I would say it's one of those things where sometimes you just skip news stories.
Yeah.
Like it was like, okay, Portland's been taken over. I'm like, all right, sure, whatever.
It was pretty funny. It was like they just because they're mad at the police. So they're like, we're going to make this our own place. And it was just like one street corner. And then there was like a murder and a rape in there. And they had no, they had no police laws.
Yeah, I like the police. I put on these AirPods. Is this better? Does that sound better?
Now it's like a mic. Yeah, now it's much better. Yeah.
Oh, great. Now, I hope we didn't lose everybody in that first 1 minute.
Yeah, whatever. I feel like we got a very small, dedicated fan base, and they're sticking with us. They've stuck with us through a lot of. I mean, we're pretty unprofessional, and they've stuck with us through a lot of that. So that's pretty great.
Yeah, I think we're relatively professional. We'll get more professional. Soon we'll be at the house. We'll have a camera and something. I don't know.
We'll have like a backdrop.
I think this is good. It's a good way. It's like swinging with 2 bats. If we can get a loyal following on Zoom with shitty sound and ugly faces, I think once we're able to replace ourselves with good-looking guys, this is going to be great.
We got to get that reboot. But who will we replace us with? Like, who are better-looking comics who could do this? But kind of have.
I thought actors. We'll get actors.
Oh yeah,
because we're the comics. We're the writers. We're the.
But there's a lot of hot comics now.
No, because if you pick comics, then I'm just going to be hurt. If you pick like Bradley Cooper and and Steve McQueen or whatever.
So who are the actors who'd replace us? Yeah. But they have to have our essence. It can't just be like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. They have to have our essence. Like who's hot versions of us, but with our kind of essence if it was turned into a Hollywood movie.
I don't know, Jonah Hill for you.
I'm just getting uglier in my version.
Oh, you're uglier than Jonah Hill? I mean, Jonah Hill's uglier than you?
Depends on where he is in his weight fluctuation. He goes up and down, He got and who would you be? You'd be like, who's a hot guy but with glasses?
Hot guy, glass. I don't think any hot guys wear glasses. Or they put them on like ironically.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think who you'd be. I guess maybe Bradley Cooper. I guess Jonah Hill, Bradley Cooper. They're like a duo.
Are they?
A bunch of stuff. Yeah, are they in a bunch of movies? I don't know. They seem like they're always.
That doesn't sound right.
They're in one movie. Did you hear what Jonah Hill got really mad because people were talking about his weight, like in articles, and he was like, "Please stop talking about my weight," because like TMZ was like, oh, Jonah Hill, he's back to looking thin, back to looking fat, and he was just like, can you please stop objectifying me? He was like really upset. But it's a weird thing to be upset about because it's like TMZ. They're going to be saying stupid like you can't be like TMZ, do better. You know what I mean? Like it's TMZ.
Yeah, but it is awful. I mean, I got mad. I saw maybe we talked about this, Tom Cruise. It was like some magazine that showed him all puffy and they're like, he's alone at 60. And you're like, fuck off, fuck you. He's trying to live his best life, you fucking assholes. All that shit's horrible.
Yeah, I guess. I can't believe it. I can't remember if I said this on the pod. I probably did, but there was a time where Jonah Hill lost a bunch of weight and people would come up to me after shows and be like, you kind of look like a fat Jonah Hill. Has anyone ever told you that? And it was a very rock bottom moment. Have I said that on the pod?
I think so, maybe.
Fuck.
I can't remember.
Yesterday, I was at the club. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you going to say?
No, go. I don't care. I had nothing.
Yesterday, I was at the club and I had my first set. And this guy afterwards, one of the comics was like, hey, you really crushed that. And I was like, oh, thanks. But it turned out he was referring to the cheeseburger I ate in like 12 seconds.
That's hilarious.
I ate a cheeseburger just so quickly. And then I said thanks, like I was really honored. Like, thank you. Like, as if that's the greatest compliment to say you ate that really fast.
It's really funny, the idea that you thought he was just talking about your set like a half an hour after you finished.
I assume that's what he meant. I did crush it.
I gotta say, I'm in Portland and the show's been going great. It's like palpable. There's people here. There's really people. They reacted when I brought you up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was talking about. Well, I was talking about my ugly friend, and some guy was like, "Mark," and I was like, "No, Mark's not ugly." And then there was a pause, and I said, "Raanan," and they went, "Yeah."
Oh, really?
He is ugly.
You're naming me in the bit now.
Well, only because somebody said Mark.
All right, well, that's great. That's great. I'm glad.
But I don't think you're ugly. I think you're a very handsome guy.
Yeah, I guess. But like the bit is, you keep on saying that, and then your bit is like, my friend is so ugly.
I know, but it's artistic license. It's just the premise.
But there's some truth. There's something truthful there. There's something you're going on.
Well, yes. I mean, there was a conversation where Eric Newman told you got to just have confidence and walk up to women randomly. So that is true.
So you definitely don't think I'm good looking enough for that not to, you think what number do you think I am? Just give me the number.
I think the 3. I think that the point is, this happened to me before. You're just not as good looking as Eric Newman. The joke is about how he's attractive. The joke is about how he's hot, not about how you're ugly. It's about his hotness.
Yeah,
it's not. I wouldn't just see you and be like, "That's an ugly person." There are people
how would you
look
describe
at like that's ugly.
If you saw me like murdering
annoying,
no, just like to the police. If you had to like describe me, you see me like murdering a hooker across the street. How would you describe me? You don't know me. How would you describe me? I won't be offended. Just be honest.
I would say portly Jew.
Portly. You know I'm a Jewish from across the street?
Of course. Are you kidding?
Will you die already, you dumb hooker? Oh, how long am I going to have to be strangling you?
What? My hands are cramping.
Portly Jew?
No, I don't know. I would say round face. Round face. Cute. You're adorable. The face
you say
is
adorable?
round.
While describing a murderer? You'd be like,
yeah,
adorable.
He's adorable.
While he was killing the hooker.
Yeah, tan. You're very tan. I would say
okay.
Your glasses match all your face. This is
you should get some more complimentary as you go on. It was like portly, fat, but tan. Yeah, get hotter and hotter. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, you're a normal guy. You're like whatever.
I mean, I'm not normal. If I was normal, like there's never been pant size in my size. Like I've never gone to get pants, and they've been, like my pant size is like 34, but then like a 20, like a really short length, and they never have that. They don't imagine
face. Your face, because when people say ugly, they're not talking about body. That's a different thing.
Well, I feel like my face, it's just like a bit of a bobblehead, isn't it?
It's cute. It's like a little koala bear. You look like a koala bear.
I'll take that. Koala bears. I also have the clap, so I'm like a koala bear. That because they all have chlamydia.
What?
Yeah, that was a joke I just made. All like koala bears have a lot of chlamydia because they fuck a lot, and they don't use condoms.
Wait, koala bears have chlamydia? That's real?
Yes.
Is that where it came from?
I don't think it came from koala bears, but there's a lot of chlamydia in the koala bear community.
No kidding. How about that?
Yeah. I used to have a joke because I'm like, koala bears, the only thing you know about them, they're the mascot for that baby changing station.
Right.
And they all have chlamydia. Boy, do they not like using condoms. That was like an old
oh, that's great.
Bear. That was an old koala bear joke I used to have. Yeah.
I think most of your best bits, you're not doing. Like the movie theater thing, that's killer. Yeah. I mean, I tell that story, it gets a laugh 100% of the time.
Well, it's very much a you bit, I think. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a Larry David type you, like a you being forced into, like you being annoyed and then being created into an awkward situation.
It's kind of like Louis' thing with the guy. He's waiting in line for the guy taking the shit.
I
You
don't
remember that
know
one?
No.
He's waiting in line for a long time to use the bathroom. He did it as a bit. And he put it in his show too. Big J was the guy.
Oh yeah.
And the
And then
guy
the
comes
guy
up and
goes,
bangs the door. He's like,
yeah.
"Get the fuck out of there, you fucking asshole!" And then that guy walks away.
Oh yeah.
And the guy in the bathroom comes out, and it's just Louis standing there.
That's like the second joke in Shameless or something. Yeah.
Are you all right? You're all rocky. You're rocking.
I got a
making me
rocking chair.
seasick.
You know, I texted Louis telling him how much I love the movie. I was, and he never got back to me. No text back.
Yeah, he does that. He does that sometimes because he doesn't like you.
Oh, all right. As long as it's not anything impersonal.
It was fun. You saw the movie. Can you tell the people a little bit?
It was great. It was awesome. It was exciting. Yeah, we haven't even talked about that. We come to the. It was me and some lawyer and some older actress and yeah, we watched the movie. It was awesome. It was on a projector, and it was great. I loved it. Your acting's fantastic. The family is great. It's just a fucking perfect Boston, hilarious, traumatizing family, and it really resonated with me because it deals with a lot of shit that I deal with too, which is like your parents. You think as you get older, like the problem with parental shit is that when you're like in your 30s or 40s, you're like, this is my time to grow as a person, And then you see your parents are like, me and my parents can grow. We can like finally connect in a way we never connected when we were younger. But what you realize is they're done growing. They're not at that. They're crystallized in their shit. So you think you have to grow with your parents and reach a new level of communication when really a lot of it is just kind of, I mean, some of it you can kind of push it a little, but a lot of it is accepting who they are. And I feel like that's the nice turn in your movie, even though you have the rant to do that shit. Ultimately, it's about accepting your parents, and accepting that they might not really change that much. And that's the growth, that you don't grow.
I mean, the movie hasn't been released yet. You realize that.
You asked me to talk about it. What am I supposed to say?
I mean, just a general thing. You're talking like it's like they've seen it. You're like, here's the turn, and here's what happens.
I don't know how to talk generally.
Giving it away.
What do we know?
I mean, you watch. When normally we talk about movies that we assume you've seen, you got to see it. Literally, nobody's seen this movie except for you and Meryl Streep.
I mean, what do you want? Just give it like taglines? It's great. It's about a family you can't escape from.
You can't talk about a movie and not give away the thing. Just be like, it's great. It's well cast. It's very funny. It's engaging.
I wanted to say how it meant to be.
You're like literally. Then your dad dies in a car wreck at the very end. You get the girl. I'm like, what?
All right, it's not Sixth Sense. I'm not, whatever. So they know there's a fucking arc at the end,
By the way,
it's great. I loved it.
I got this book yesterday.
It didn't
start with you. It's great. It's called How Inherited Family Trauma Shapes Who You Are and How to End the Cycle. This is a good book.
It looks like the Unwinding Anxiety cover.
That's similar, I guess.
Yeah.
Similar. That's all I ever read. But I was in Powell's yesterday. I spent 3 hours at Powell's.
That's a good place. Me and Whitney Cummings went there.
Oh, me and Louis C.K. went there. So I win this round. Did she buy you books?
She did buy me a book, yes.
Oh, that's sweet. I almost bought you a book, but then I didn't.
Yeah, that's okay. I realized this girl I used to have sex with, or I had sex with once, and she never called me after that. And it was great sex. Then I realized, I think the reason is because the next day I was at her place and she took a book and she's like, I love this book. I'd love for you to like she gave me the book and I literally go, it was such a Larry David thing. I go, I have Kindle. I'm not going to read it. I rejected the book.
Oh, that's awful. I hate those are my least favorite stories. I just had an incident, and I don't even want to name names because I feel so bad for the people involved. But there was a guy, I watched a guy give a comedian friend of ours a really sweet and thoughtful gift, and he was like nervous giving a gift because it's hard to give a gift to a man. You feel awkward. It's not a normal thing. So he's like, I got you this thing because I know you love it. And then the guy just went, I have that. I have that. And I'm like, you gotta fake it. Just be like, wow, what? And then give it to somebody else. It was so painful. I can't even think about it. It makes me want to throw up.
Well, one time I got this guy a Pauline Kael book, and I thought he'd read it, and he never did. It was really awkward.
I read a bunch of it. I read a lot of it, and I said I enjoyed it. That's not a book it's not a novel. You pick it up and you read bits and pieces. They're essays.
Yeah, that's fine. But the problem with the Kindle thing, I was just in a Kindle high. It was like I just got the Kindle and I just didn't want to waste books, but I fucked up. I should have taken it,
Of course. A gift not enjoyed is like a flower that doesn't blossom.
I know. I fucked up. I didn't blossom the flower. I didn't water the plant, and now I can't water her pussy anymore because she hates me.
Yeah, in your face. All right, we got to talk about these because I'm all excited about these movies. We're talking new westerns, and you revealed in the first take when my internet wasn't working that you hated one of these movies, which I'm shocked and chagrined.
You're chagrined?
Hated?
Yes.
I'm chagrined, baby.
Well, we'll keep on. Well, I fucking I don't know. Well, so we're going to talk about Old Henry first. I guess we can talk about that first.
I guess it's hard because I watched both of these movies literally back to back, and they're similar kinds of films. They're both westerns.
We should talk about Bone Tomahawk first because I feel like no one's seen Old Henry. So we're, I feel like more people like engage in the podcast if we talk about a movie they may have seen.
All right, let's talk about Bone Tomahawk. And also, we left one out. Somebody reminded me, there's another movie called Slow West with Michael Fassbender.
Oh,
that is also, I'll recommend it. Sarah and I saw it in the theater. It's excellent. We love
it.
And it's
Slow West?
similar.
I never heard of it.
Yeah.
I love Michael
Fassbender. The guy that made it made a couple other things. I forget his name. It's hard now. I think we've talked about this. We're at an age now with movies. We've seen so many. So to watch a movie once, I'm just like, I don't even remember what happens.
I know. It's tough. It's tough. I'm talking about Bone Tomahawk. I saw it like 4 weeks ago. I'm trying to but it had such an effect on me that I feel like I remember it pretty well. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the problem I'm having. And I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, I don't even remember these notes. I watched it Wednesday night or Tuesday night. And Tuesday night, which is only 4 days ago, but then I watched another Western right after. So they're kind of conflated a little bit. I thought they were both excellent. You hated one of them, which I can't even believe.
Well, we'll tease it. So let's talk Bone Tomahawk. So Louis recommended it to me and I recommended it to you. And when I watched it,
Louis recommended it to me too. He talks about it, but he's tough sometimes because he just hits these movies and you're just like, all right.
I know. He's like, see this 30s film from Germany about World War II. It's silent and nothing happens and no one's ever seen it but me. So I saw this movie. I started watching it and right away. It has that Tarantino thing where you're just entertained immediately. But because the dialogue is so good and so quirky and interesting, you're like, oh, it makes you realize like, oh, most movies are really boring because they're just not unique. And this movie just right off the bat is funny and weird and quirky in a way that just feels fresh,
Yes, it does feel very Tarantino, I have to say.
It's very Tarantino.
Extremely Tarantino. But yes, the dialogue is so good. I mean, I wrote down a couple things. One was, you've been squirting lemon juice in my eye since I came in here. I mean, that's just beautiful. And then watch him go purple on the rope is great. I mean, it's just like poetic. They talk in poetry.
It's such good dialogue. And it's like, I mean, the thing I love right away was Richard Jenkins. I mean, he should have been nominated for this movie. He steals the show. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're right. He's incredible. Such a great actor. I love him. And a New Englander. He lives in Rhode Island.
Oh,
yeah, he's fantastic. I wanted him to be in our movie, which you gave away the ending. But I loved him, and it's one of those performances I was talking about. He's so great, you don't even recognize him.
I didn't know
it
was
him.
I didn't know it was him, and it was like he's a great actor, but a lot of times he's like very recognizable. But this is like this is a very different character, similar to Shape of Water, where he plays someone very different than his usual stoic, sad self, and it's this amazing character that's like somehow both dumb and wise at the same time. And like a survivor and insightful and retarded. It's like incredible. It's an amazing.
Describe me.
Well, I mean, he is like both of us. I mean, first of all, the bath scene is, I mean, it was written for me. Did you think about me? Do you know my bath reading?
Of course. I know about the bath reading, like reading the bath stuff. But yeah, no, I was with Steve Rogers and I was like, by the way, I was trying to get you to come down. You didn't come down. You don't take hints. I'm like, we're downstairs watching Bone Tomahawk, and then you don't even respond, you fucking
I got the hint. I was what was that night? I was like bone dead tired. Bone Tomahawk
dead.
Yeah.
Well, it was Tuesday night, and I'm like, "Hey, you home?" You're like, "Yeah, I'm upstairs." I'm like, "We're watching Bone Tomahawk down here."
I like how I'm like, I got the hint. I just didn't. Oh, I got the hint. No, I know. Well, I'd seen it, and I was really tired. But if I wasn't super tired, I would have. I think I just got off a plane or something. I would have watched it with you. It seemed fun.
A guy like you should be over the moon if I'm inviting you into my home. Like Steve, I'm like, Steve, you want to watch a movie? He starts crying. He goes and gets a bouquet of balloons. He puts on makeup and heels. I mean, you should be like, oh my God, this guy's the coolest guys asked me over.
I used to think back in my early days, I really looked up to you as like a great comedian. And I thought you were better, but now you're just like my neighbor. Become too close.
I mean, I made a film. I got another special coming out. I mean, what do I got to do for some respect around here?
So yeah, I mean, did Steve like it?
Steve, this is the problem with recording on my phone. I just got a text from my wife that says, "Oh my God, that's so much fun." And I'm like, what?
She's like, fucking.
I was like, what is she even talking about? Oh, I know. She said that's so much because I told her how much I paid for that sketch I made. Did you watch the sketch? Did you like it?
I did like it. Did you see me share it? It was very funny.
I appreciate you sharing it. I saw you share it. But
Steve had my favorite line.
What was that?
What you're so shocked at Steve.
He's such a straight man.
Yeah, but he had that line that I thought was really funny. Maybe you weren't even like when she says her brother died, and he's like, "Were you close to him?" Like that's just a pretty funny line.
Oh, that's funny. That was just a setup, but
I don't know. That's kind of funny. I mean, the idea if someone says my brother died, and then you going, "Were you close to him?" I mean, that's a funny thing to say if you say your brother.
I guess it is. I'm texting her that I'm podcasting because
okay, but when you do that, a picture from 1980 of you comes up as your profile pic when you text.
What do you mean? From 1980?
It's just an old picture of you just comes up when you like text. Yeah, it just happened right now.
What do you mean? Is it me in my Pogue shirt?
It's you. Your hair is slicked back like you look like Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's like a big poof.
My hair is perfect. What are you talking about?
Your hair is much better like this than the slick back.
Oh, this is all. It wasn't slick.
Well,
just brush back.
I don't know. It looks weird, but anyway, wait, what were we talking about? Oh, so yeah, Bone Tomahawk. Did Steve like it?
Yeah, let's get to Bone Tomahawk. He liked it enough, but he's like a little girl. Like when the murder scenes, he has to like close his eyes and he's like, oh my God.
Well, I'll be honest, that murder scene, I mean, let's wait to talk about it, but that murder scene is what really stuck with me after the movie. Because I'm a dead inside guy. I've seen everything in movies. That shit fucking haunted me. Like, it's like top 5, one of the most disturbing executions. But before we get to that, yeah, Richard Jenkins, amazing. The bass scene. I mean, that fucking conversation is like from my heart when the whole conversation's hilarious. He's just like, how do you, he just wakes him up and he's like, how do you read in the bath? And then Kurt Russell's like, I don't know if I understand the question. It's just
great.
Yeah, the dialogue in this is just fucking incredible. It's so like, it's its own little universe, but it feels so real, you know?
Yeah, it's tremendous. And I love all the actors. That other guy who plays the fucking really buttoned up smart guy, who I don't know what he's from, but evidently he's a TV actor.
Wait, which one? Oh, Matthew Fox.
Matthew Fox, yes.
Yeah, he's
tremendous.
Great.
I love the character, and he's so good because you're like, do I like this guy? Do I not like this guy? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? And he really does seem like the smartest guy. I mean, this movie's just so well written. Each character is so well developed, and you know them, you like them. It's a hangout. I want to be with them.
It's a good hang. It's a good Treasure Sierra Madre kind of hang. It has that Treasure Sierra Madre, the Searchers kind of hang, and it's a good fucking hang. They're all fucking great characters, and they all have different, like, I don't know. Yeah, the Matthew Fox is great. He's like kind of evil, or not. I don't even know evil. It's just like, I don't even know if it's evil. It's not evil. It's just that he doesn't think Native Americans are human beings.
Is he enigmatic? Is that a good word for him?
Yeah, he's a little enigmatic because he's evil in one sense. He really he does not think Native Americans are human beings, which is evil. But he also is, within that, also very heroic,
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's evil. He's living in the times. They've savagely killed people.
I don't know, evil. It's some kind of, it's a blind spot. Can I call it a blind spot?
It's a blind spot, sure, but I mean, aren't the Native Americans they're going after? They are evil.
Well, they're evil, but he hates all the Native Americans. He's like, I killed 42 of them, and I would have killed more. And then he kills those Mexican guys like immediately.
Yes, of course, yes.
But he's cool. It's a good casting because he's like a traditionally classically handsome guy. So it seems like at first he might be like the main guy because he's so like traditionally handsome, but he's kind of like the fucked up psycho guy in a way, but also very like collected, calm and collected. It's like, is he a psycho or is he kind of being rational in his own world? He's very fascinating character,
Yeah, he was sort of my favorite character. I really enjoyed it.
Because you're racist, and that makes a lot of sense. But like, also the part where you always give me a look after, like it's just. You got to realize.
Well, I mean, I like the guy. I'm sorry, I like the character. I'm sorry, you like the fucking old, weak, fucking loser.
Well, you also have that great line where they cut off his hand, and he's which, by the way, were you confused? I had trouble like catching what happened. I had to rewind it when his hand gets completely cut off.
Yeah, what part is that?
That's when right before he dies, his hand, like a tomahawk or something, like basically cuts his hand off. Or his arm
yeah,
off.
a bone tomahawk.
Bone tomahawk. But then he has that line, was like, "I'm too vain to live life like a cripple."
Oh, I love that. And they give him the cigar. I related to that too. I mean, I love
the cigar.
He gets the cigar. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, it was so compelling. He was so compelling from the opening thing. And I love characters like that are like, they're just smart. Like you said, they're cool. They're dressed cool. They're smart. It's what I want to be, but I'm really Richard Jenkins or Richard Kind, whoever.
Richard, I'm definitely, I am 100% Richard Jenkins. I'm like,
but here's
always
what
looking for soup.
Not to jump ahead. First of all, there's some real like jokes in here. Like some of them I actually thought were like annoying. Like at the opening when he's like, I'm a civilized man. He like scratches his dick and spits. It was a little too on the nose. Did you feel that way? It's just a little bit too much, too jokey. I felt
that for a couple, but some of Richard Jenkins' things were just so character-based hilarious. Like the part when like when they're like, the way Richard Jenkins defends Kurt Russell as like an awesome guy is so touching and so funny. When he's like, I would have gotten him and tortured him for information, and they like criticize it, and he's just like, he's got a system. Like it's just like he's so defensive, and I think I don't know, everything Richard Jenkins said was like hilarious to me.
No, it's really sweet and touching, this compelling thing, especially like an older man just admiring a younger than him.
I know, it was such an interesting flip, kind of like to have the old. Like the old, like it was the sheriff's like an old guy, and then the deputy's even older. And like, it's just like an interesting kind of like dynamic you've never seen before,
Yeah, it's just really sweet. And Kurt Russell's a guy I could just watch fuck my mother for a couple days. I mean, he's just so goddamn handsome and compelling and funny. And at this point in my life, I'm so thrilled to just find Kurt Russell performance that I haven't seen. I just love that guy. He's so good in everything.
He kind of reminds me of like one of the old actors from the 50s, where he's just like always charming and reliable and just kind of heroic in his own way,
there was a little internet.
Yeah, it's skipping. You look like you have cerebral palsy right now, but
oh, I wish I did.
I don't. Yeah, it's a little skippy dippy, but hopefully it'll go.
It's got to be you though, because I'm on full bars reception here.
I don't know.
Probably your shitty internet.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, fuck my.
Because I'm on just cellular data here, and I got full bars. But who knows? Whatever.
You look good now.
Am I moving? But Kurt Russell, he reminds me of Jeff Bridges. Aren't they very similar?
They're very
from
similar.
Like Hollywood families. They've been around forever. And they're both just so likable and funny. They're very similar careers, I feel like.
Well, I'm going to say something really dumb right now. Who's Kurt Russell's? What's his family? What's his father?
Yeah, good question.
Maybe you're wrong about that. Yeah, I'm like, does he have family? It seems like he does. It seems like he's part of some kind of Charlie Sheen family. But I think he
was a childhood actor. I think he was an actor as a kid.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, he's great. He's always like, well, him and Jeff Bridges are always going out for the same probably old sheriff, but you all right?
Yeah, I started to look it up and then I have no internet whatsoever. So now I got it. I'm going to pull it up.
All right, pull it up. No, he's always great. I actually watched him in that oil movie. Did you see that? Louis played that on the bus. It was awesome, actually.
Which oil movie?
The Mark Wahlberg oil spill movie. Did you ever see that?
No, I don't think so.
It was kind of great. It's about that oil spill and a bunch of people died in off of New Orleans, and it's we were watching on the tour bus, so like the whole oil like drill was shaking, but then the bus was also shaking. It was like a 5D movie. It was like immersive. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, fun.
But Kurt Russell's but he's he's great. What'd you find out?
His parents were actors. Bing Russell was an actor and dancer, and Julia Russell's. But yeah, he was a childhood actor too. So he's been in the business, as was Jeff Bridges, I believe.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's just always charming and reliable. He's always great. And their relationship is just amazing. It's just great. And the main guy and his wife's relationship is great. It's like it's fun, it's quirky, and like the whole thing is just like it's it's not like the most unique type movie, but it's just fun to fucking watch, you know?
I mean, it is The Searchers. It's the same movie, is it not?
Yeah, I guess it is, but then it's like a horror movie, which is what's interesting. Like combining those two genres. I mean, it is a movie that sets itself up as a Western, but it's very much a horror movie.
Yeah. But it also is what was I gonna say? It's hilarious. What blew my mind about this fucking movie, the budget, $1.8 million.
That's hard to fathom.
Which is the same budget as our movie.
In the years more?
No, ours is actually just a little, it came in like a hair less than that.
Yeah, your movie's great, but it's like it has, two settings and it's just how do they that seems incredible.
Well, I watched the making of it. I mean, first of all, obviously these actors must take a huge pay cut, just gone for the minimum. Like, so that's a huge portion that I'm sure they save money on. And they shot it like 10 miles outside of LA, and they shot it basically in one location. They shot it in the mountains outside of LA, and they just built all the locations in one place.
It does feel like it's not that it feels like they have like the same field a lot.
Well, that's how you save money.
Yeah.
You put everybody in one spot close to LA. They don't have to travel them all. And there's only a few actors. I think there's like 7 actors or so. Maybe
that's a good point. But it really hides it. You don't see the limitations of it. It feels like a big budget movie. But they have like saloons and shit. How'd they get that? That seems like
I think they just built it out of wood, like shitty, shoddy wood. But that's another thing that's great about this movie. I just drooled. The sound. I love the sound of Westerns. That wood sound, that walking on wood, the guns, the sand, the walking on the rocks, the fireplace or whatever. I just love Westerns. I love being in that world. I just love the sound, and it makes you want to camp, even though it's a nightmare. Doesn't it make you want to sleep outside and be by a fire with buddies?
I kind of, but it is. That's the thing about Westerns. It is no one's ever like comfortable in a Western. Like it's all just like people like sandy and hot and cold and dying. It's like a very tough thing every time you watch it, Well,
it makes me feel grateful. And that's the thing with this movie too. And I feel like I talk about this with every movie. This is how I just see movies. It makes you feel gratitude. The movie's about gratitude, just wanting to be back home in your bed, longing to be with your wife. And that letter, by the way, touched me to my bones. My wife has been away. It made me miss my wife. But he's like, it's great. The warmth in the direct center is just, you make me feel that warmth in the direct center of my body. It's just beautiful.
The way she describes it as a poem, he's like, it's not a poem. Like, it's just amazing. Like it's just an amazing.
It feels so modern. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful poem. And the movie has a lot of warmth and also and it's also super fucked up. I mean, that execution, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, and that's how I know a movie's good, when it like just kind of sticks with me. And I'm like, there's something, I mean, it's the most horrific thing ever. Like, cause they scalp him, which is always scalpings are always disturbing because well, it's like disturbing because like you're showing the brain, but he's not really dead. And that's a weird thing. Like, I think like in my head, I'm like, if I see someone's brain, they should be dead. But with the scalping, you're like, what the fuck? But you're also seeing the brain, and that's just like a lot to process. But this is so disturbing that the scalping is the least disturbing part of what happened. Now,
I don't understand scalping, though, because why can you see the brain? Because are they just cutting through the skull? Is the skull not dense and hard? Is that real? Wouldn't you scalp? Wouldn't you see the skull? There's skull over your brain. I think it's bullshit when they scalp you, because you can't just saw off the top of a fucking skull. With a bone saw, you could. But in scalping, it's a little bit of a misnomer,
because don't you see? You do see his brain, right? Don't you?
I think so.
Maybe
I know you do.
Maybe
Inglorious Bastards, you do.
Yeah, because
maybe it's just red.
Yeah, because it's the top of the skull. That's a great point. What the fuck?
Of course, it's not just skin over your brain.
So in reality, it'd just be like a really bad scar. He'd be like, ow, ow, but like he wouldn't. But it would just be like, that's bone. Like you can't cut through bone. He'd just be like, ow, you sliced my forehead. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think in the Hannibal movie, he has like a bone.
In the Hannibal. Oh yeah, I guess they didn't want to have it. I guess they thought that execution, like, if it was just like 45 minutes long, them just like sawing his head while he's like, what the fuck? It would be too much. But either way.
This is Mandela effect. Like, you didn't actually see brain. You probably looked away like a bitch.
Like the tits in Psycho. Maybe that's what it's like, Mandela effect. What's the Mandela effect?
You don't know about Mandela effect?
Oh, you thought he was black, or you thought what was it?
I think the Mandela effect, the origin of it is like, I think people thought they remembered him dying, but he didn't die.
Oh, right.
But it's a term used
like
for when
Berenstein.
you think one thing.
Berenstein
Yes,
Bears,
exactly.
because it's
Exactly.
not, it's Berenstein, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Made
That's
it.
one
People
of them,
imagined it more Jewy than it was, or something. People are like,
and
it's Baron Witzowitz, Witzberg.
C-3PO's leg is silver, and Oscar Mayer, and I think all those, like, I mean, kind of like the wrong words in movies.
Yeah,
Played against Sam and all that.
Shaquille O'Neal is not LL.
Oh, so you read extensively on this.
Takes a lot of intelligence to play the fool. I am very much like Richard Jenkins, you know.
Yeah, you're the best. But here's an interesting thing I thought about this movie. When he's giving that whole thing about the book system, about how he's going to read, I thought for sure, and I think it would have been better maybe. I said to Steve, I was like, it's so sad listening to this, because he now has this system he's going to try, but we know watching he's never going to get that chance. He's going to die. But then he does survive.
He survives.
I understand that. So I was incorrect in watching.
You're having the Mandela effect right now with fucking.
No, I'm not. I'm saying when I'm watching it, that's what I'm thinking when he's giving that speech.
Oh, you just assume he's never going to make it.
Of course. Why would I think he's going to make it? He's like an 85-year-old retard. Like, I want to fight these
I see. So you think that scene is like very tragic in the fact that it's not.
Yes. As I'm listening to it, that's what I'm thinking.
And then you think it deflates.
This is really sad.
You think then it like deflates the tragedy. You know.
I think it does actually.
Like if you're watching Schindler's List and at the end it just said the Holocaust never happened, it would like deflate the power of the movie, kind of.
Sure, if that helps. I actually think they shouldn't have survived. I mean, because they're such crazy savages. I guess they're dumb or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's a lot of luck and at the end, and I don't know. Yeah, it's a surprising ending, but I mean, yeah, you're right though. I mean, I guess he's so likable, but it's so tough to see him die. You know.
Of course, but that happens in movies. Now you. To jump ahead, you hated the next movie because you thought it was so cliche. What about the fucking completely injured guy just picking off everybody one at a time to save his woman? That didn't bother you? And then everyone, the oldest, shittiest guy gets to survive?
Oh, for this movie?
For this movie. I mean, isn't that... And I have another question. Ponder that question while also... What happened? Didn't Tom Hanks... Tom Hanks. Kurt Russell have a big wooden spike drilled through his fucking throat, and then it never seems to affect him.
Well, he's gonna die. I don't know.
Like,
he has a bot.
I thought he died. They took a big spike and fucking like smashed it through his mouth and throat, and then he just continues to talk and be kind of okay.
I don't remember that, honestly. Fuck. I don't remember.
It's when they're outside. They fucking take a thing and they like smack it like back into his mouth. He's like, "Wah!" And then he just continues to talk, live.
I don't remember that.
I both were like, I thought he was dead.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that. But can we go back? Wait, real quick. We're all over the place. Can we go back to just the execution before we get to that?
Sorry, yes. You keep not wanting to talk about this execution. Talk about it.
Well, I mean, did the execution disturb you the way it disturbed me?
No, not a little girl.
They take his scalp off, they shove it in his mouth, which is super gross. He's got his scalp in his mouth. And then that's not even the worst part. And then they cut him in half. You just watch him be cut in half. There's something about that I find so disturbing. And I think the reason is it's just like, I think we go through, it's a little like,
I love that you've come up with a reason.
For some reason, I find that upsetting. But I think on a deeper level, I think it's a little like Midsommar. Did you see Midsommar?
Yes, you ask me that every fucking episode. Yes, I saw it. I saw the movie.
But so I think it's just like we go through life kind of trying to forget that we're just meat and we're just bodies, you know? And then a death like that is such a reminder to see him split in half, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh, he's just now just pieces of meat, you know? Yeah. It's such a disturbing reminder of that in that moment. Anytime
someone's completely helpless and just destroyed
just destroyed. They're not wasting any part of him and they're going to eat him and strip. I mean, it's just awful. I mean, it's literally one awful it's like stripping naked, which is bad, scalping, which is worse, shoving the scalp in your mouth, which is worse, cutting you in half, which is worse than that.
Did Louis tell you his theory about a joke that they could have had that would have been really funny?
Yeah, that was at the end where Richard Jenkins tells him the same.
Yeah, it's like the cavalry's coming.
Also, there's something upsetting about that all Kurt Russell could do is be like, these guys are gonna come in and kill all these people. If I was a guy getting bisected, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm dying. Like, I don't care. Like, it's just like it's not that helpful at that point, you know?
But yeah, I'm sure he's not really hearing it.
Yeah, probably not. It's probably
as he's getting his asshole split open.
But yeah, that death is so disturbing. Yeah, the ending is weird. I'll be honest, I don't know if the movie fully came together for me. I liked the ride, but I don't know if it all I kind of didn't fully understand what it was about by the end, but it was very fun getting there, you know?
It's about true love or whatever. And
yeah,
it's long. It's a little bit long.
It's very long.
Trimmed. It's like 2.5 hours long.
And then there's just kind of this stuff about fate where Richard Jenkins kind of talks about the flea circus, and you realize like the woman lies to him saying it's real just to give him hope. So it's kind of saying like hope is like kind of bullshit, you know, it's all random. But then the fucking guy with the leg does seem to like save the day, you know. But maybe that's just determination.
And I want to press you on this a little bit more when we get into Old Henry, which you're like, this sucks. It's a fucking cliche, whatever. I mean, literally impossible circumstances, just muscular fucking savages with all the advantage. And then a guy with a broken leg who can barely walk and hasn't eaten in days is able to like climb up a mountain and one by one kill all these crazy savages and save this woman who I guess they were just decided not to harm.
Well, that's what's kind of weird at the ending. It's like a weirdly happy ending in a movie that's so disturbing. But it's still like at the end, you're still like, even though it's like kind of a happy ending a little, you're like that you don't feel happy at the end. You're like, this movie is legitimately fucked up. Like just it's just disgusting and terrifying. And the movie deals with like, you know, the town seems very beautiful on the surface. And then these savages are just like, it's just like pure grotesque fucking evil, you know? And it just reminds you of this kind of like, the movie kind of makes you feel like there's this like kind of like evil in nature, you know what I mean? That like if you don't want to explore too deeply, you know?
I mean, knowing too that this guy Zoller is like a pretty hardcore right-wing conservative from what I've heard.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, you're gonna call me a cuck right now, but I was gonna say like it is somewhat you're taking like savages and just saying no, you're basically just making like the others seem like really evil and awful is somewhat can be perceived as somewhat right-wing, you know?
Well, that's what I was going to ask about. And then the handsome heterosexual white guy comes and destroys all these brown savages who were going to rape all of our women. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, I didn't want to bring it up first because I feel like if I brought it up, I'd get attacked. But it is, the views in the movie are fairly xenophobic and kind of pro-colonialism and kind of like, yeah, I mean, don't fuck with their shit, but they are like very like cultures aren't just different. Some cultures are just really fucked up and inhuman. You know what I mean? That's the view here. So it's a somewhat like right-wing view, I would say. Yeah, but you know, the movie's entertaining as fuck.
It's entertainment as fuck. It's fun. I mean, I'm only bringing it up so I can set up when you start trashing Old Henry that I can be, what about your fucking this right-wing conservative movie like, that you love?
I mean, it's definitely like right. It definitely has like right-wing views, and it's definitely like PC people would definitely be like, oh, really? Just because they're different than you, they you know, they're awful. You know, we should respect all cultures, even cultures where they scalp
rape
people,
your own women,
and rip people in half and blind pregnant women. You know what I mean? So it's definitely not in favor of cultural relativity. It's a fairly, you know, right-wing movie, but it's, you know, what can I say? It's fucking talented.
Yeah, it's ultimately. It's very fun. It's funny, and you just want to watch. I can watch it all day. I love all these characters.
I don't know
if each character is tremendous.
I don't know if up a little. Oh, sorry. I just don't know if it all comes together at the end. I didn't feel like it. Did you feel like it fully connected at the end? Did you feel like sad? I don't know if I felt fully satisfied.
No, it wasn't beautiful. And I just, like I said, I just felt like, oh, all right, I guess they get away and it's a happy ending.
But then they ignore Kurt Russell, and he has like the flask in his stomach. It's just like bizarre and weird. I mean, it left you with like a weird feeling, but I don't fully know. Like, it didn't fully connect to me. But yeah, it's fun as shit. Just great dialogue. Great
fun as shit.
Yeah.
So well written, and I appreciate anyone that's sort of, it feels like has a maverick quality, that's trying to do something different and interesting, and the dialogue's amazing, and they pulled it off with such a small budget. I love it.
And I loved it too. And I will say this to talk about Old Henry. It's like, to me, I felt like this Bone Tomahawk was an interesting mashup of a couple genres, you know? So it was like horror and Western. It was like an interesting combination. I felt like Old Henry just combined like 12 different Westerns that are better in a way that wasn't unique. It was Unforgiven. It was No Country for Old Men.
Very No Country.
Very No Country. I mean, and just combining those two, and then it was a couple other movies, Mystic River, a bunch of shit. It's just
Mystic River. Get out of here.
Well, maybe not Mystic River. I couldn't think of another movie. Searchers, whatever. It's just like, it didn't feel new at all. It felt so cliched and predictable, and the dialogue is actually not good. Like, it's interesting. The dialogue in this goes out of its way to use like old words and shit, but it does it in a way that's kind of annoying, in a way that like Bone Tomahawk does in a much better way, where Bone Tomahawk, it uses old language, but it still feels modern. It just felt like boring fucking dialogue. And I don't think Tim Blake Nelson has fucking range. I think he's just...
What?
I don't think he has range. I think
what?
He's got one note, retarded. That's the whole note. I don't think he has range.
Oh, he's fantastic in this movie. I loved him in this movie.
You wanted to love this movie no matter what. You were like, I'm going to love this movie. You forced yourself into it.
No, I watched it. First of all, I love his performance, and it's so similar. It's so funny to be like, oh my God, Bone Tomahawk's amazing, and they're pushing the human race forward. This is incredible. And then you watch Old Henry, and you're like, nah, shit, it's cliche.
Bone Tomahawk is funny the whole time. Bone Tomahawk is funny the whole time. Is there one funny line in this fucking movie?
Well, these comedies? What are we talking about? What is this, the Zucker Brothers?
Every movie comedies. When I say fun, every movie should have some quirkiness that's funny. It's just boring. The dialogue is bad.
It's not boring. It's thrilling. It's thrilling. Are you kidding me? You weren't in suspense of who was who?
I feel like I've seen it. I've seen it 100
times. Oh my
times.
God. I was on the edge of my seat. I had to pause because I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I don't know who's who. This thing where he's talking to them, you don't know who he is, and he's just talking to these three guys, and you're like, are they bank robbers?
I knew he was Billy the Kid from the... I knew he's Billy the Kid from the first 20 minutes. I mean,
spoiler alert.
It's so fucking predictable.
No, I thought it was so fun. I was way into it. I thought it was fantastic. And by the way, it's got about fucking 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's only because it's only because 4 people have seen it. That's the only reason why. It's like all right,
well, they all liked it.
Well, it's like a YouTube video that doesn't get a lot of traction. So like, it's all just like the person's mom going, great job. You know what I mean? But like, no, and I feel bad trashing it because it made like $12,000 at the box. It doesn't do very well.
There is no box office anymore. It's a small movie. It's only been out for fucking 3 weeks. People don't go to the fucking movies anymore. But I thought this movie was thrilling. I thought he was so good. Tim Blake Nelson is amazing in this movie. With just this one little eye hanging down.
It's the same look the whole time.
I'll say this. I will say this. The kid I hated.
That's a big part.
That was bad casting. The kid looks like he should have a cell phone. He's like too clean cut. He's like too much of a millennial type of kid.
It's so cliched. The kid who like doesn't understand his father, and you know the father has a past, and you know it's Western. Bad. I'm not surprised. Movie. But Bone Tomahawk is like insane. It's like very surprising in a lot of ways. I'm not surprised by this. Like, I'm just like, I've seen the characters. A perfect example is the scene where, by the way, Steven Dorff, I like him in a lot of shit. I found him really like just a cheesy villain. I thought
you didn't find him fun and compelling and kind of like sexy, and you're interested in him.
I've seen it. And then the scene where he goes to the uncle. How many times have we seen that scene? How many times have we seen the scene?
Name some movies. Give me the movies.
Fucking True Romance, when Christopher Walken goes to Dennis Hopper. It's always that scene where you go to the guy who's friends with him, and they have to have the conversation beforehand that's threatening, and then it gets to the point, and then they eventually kill him, and it makes the other guy mad. I've seen that 4 billion times.
That's what it is, though. It's a fucking Western. It's a genre picture. I mean, literally, Bone Tomahawk is the plot of The Searchers. The guy's wife has been taken, and the deputy goes, I'm going to round up a posse. We're going to go find they're the impossible enemy.
But the characters are different. They're interesting and quirky. The characters are what makes it so unique. I didn't find the characters in this. I found them also kind of Like I've seen those characters. You know what I mean?
Then
Tim
make
Blake
that
Nelson.
your argument. Make that your
That's
argument.
my argument. Tim Blake.
Okay, well, you changed it. You changed the argument after I pointed out that your original. Yes,
Tim Blake
because
Nelson.
I pointed out your initial argument was stupid.
Tim Blake Nelson is just fucking Clint Eastwood from Unforgiven. It's the exact same thing. The farmer with the dead wife, and he had a violent past, and he's trying to shield it from his fucking kid. And
it's similar, but that wasn't new with Unforgiven, by the way.
No, but it took it to like this kind of more modern level of moral, like, you know, questionability and like, is this guy actually evil? You know what I mean? It put it in a different light than it did before. It made it more morally gray than it did before. But it's like, I've seen that. It's just retarded Clint Eastwood.
It's very similar to me, obviously, but that to me is what's fun about it. It's a genre picture. And it was just, I thought the performance was great. I thought there were funny lines, and I thought there was beautiful dialogue. When he says, I've seen the scars on your body because I ain't hid them from you. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's just pure fun. And I did think it was thrilling when he's got the guy in there and he grabs him by the arm and you're thinking, and it also has very similar to No Country where he's like, he walks away from the money and he says, nope, I'm not going to do this. Then he goes back to get involved. I mean, exactly like No Country. But I thought it was really interesting. And then the kid just can't resist going into the closet. It was all very fascinating to me. But that standoff with the three robbers, and he's in between the two of them, and he's strangely confident, and you're like, okay, something's going on here. And then at the end, he's just killer. I loved it.
But it's just, I mean, you like the familiarity of it. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, I know he's gonna kill all of them right then. Like, it's just like, I've seen that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like it hypes it up. The movie's hyping up something you've already seen, which I find like anticlimactic.
Yeah, I had seen it. I saw it fucking 4 hours earlier when I watched Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk is totally. You ever see people cut in half? What Western do you see someone cut in half?
So the movie's good because they cut a guy in half?
Yes.
I mean, I just think this like argument of the cliche thing, and it's similar to 3:10 to Yuma. It's very similar to a lot of movies. I agree. I'm not saying it's Citizen Kane. I'm saying it's fun. It's good cinema. It's interesting, and I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I just found myself enjoying it.
I'm saying Bone Tomahawk is like Tarantino, where it takes a lot of different influences, but combines them in a new way. And this movie takes a bunch of things, but doesn't combine it in a new way. It just shows it. It's not adding anything to it's just mixing without adding something new. That's how I felt. I felt like it didn't add anything new to it, you know?
Bone Tomahawk is so original, just like every Quentin Tarantino movie.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it still added something because it added the you know what it added to it, honestly? I mean, I know it's not the deepest thing, but making a Western also be what do you call it? What's the thing called where it's like a body horror, like what's that, torture porn? Making a Western be like also a Saw torture porn added a new dimension to the Western. You know what I mean? Because you're like, you see, in Western, people just get shot. It's not really that gruesome. So seeing this classic characters from Westerns in like a torture porn movie gave it an added dimension. But this was just... I
wish you wouldn't dimension it again.
This is just the fucking... to me, this is just, it's just, I've just seen it before. Look, you like familiarity. You like going to the same green tea at This is your green tea at Starbucks.
Well, first of all, I also love that at its core, it's a movie about a father and son, which I am a sucker for.
There you go.
Because I love father and son stuff, which you don't care about because you're a heartless person. You have no warmth. I
do care about father-son shit. But first of all, you said the son's a bad actor. So it's like, if a movie's about...
I didn't say he's a bad actor. I said he's a little miscast. He's a little too on the nose. He's like too clean cut. He looks like he's from 2020.
Yes.
And it takes from it a bit.
But his speech at the end is so corny that like, I'm not for this world, but I'm hoping you are. It's like, to me, it's like I knew that was going to happen. I knew he was going to get shot. I knew he was going to have a speech like that to the kid. I knew the kid was going to shoot someone because he had to like take over. I just see it all coming. There's no surprise.
Well, I have to say, when the guy does have the gun pointed at, William H. Bonney, whatever, you are like, well, the son is still there. He's going to shoot him.
Of course. Yeah. It's just like, yes. Yes.
That part, it wasn't like a big thing, but whatever. I like the father-son relationship. I do enjoy that. I enjoyed the dialogue from it. I mean, there's some cliches to it for sure, but to me, I just accepted that. I'm like, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, obviously the four other people who watched the movie agree with you, but like, I just, for me, I'm just like, yeah, it didn't have any surprises. It's not like it was terrible. Like the scenes are decent. It didn't have any surprises. And like, it's also like after Bo Tomahawk, it's just so violent. And then I'm watching this. I'm like, he's choking a guy to death. Who gives a shit? Give me. I want to see someone wearing someone's face. Give me something. Bo Tomahawk really like ups the stakes for me. You know what I mean? Just like people just get shot. Back to everyone just being shot in the head.
I loved it. I don't know. Maybe it was just a good mood, and it was a good warm up. It was a good opener to have Bone Tomahawk the night before, and I just kept it going straight through.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I thought the casting was great. Other than the son, I really liked Stephen Dorff. I love the Mexican guy. That scene also when he's hiding in the tall grass was thrilling, and then he manages to escape, which is fun. Then later it's revealed that he's Billy the Kid, so of course he can escape. I thought there was like really tense, thrilling moments in this movie. A bunch of them. I was on the edge of my fucking seat.
But also he's it's also like I think there's a lack of character exploration too, because he's like he's wanting the money, right?
Yeah, I mean he's a fucking bandit.
But they never really like go in. I thought they would have gone into more of his financial situation. Is the farming going well? Does he need the money? It doesn't seem to really delve into that in a way that I think. Don't you think that could have delved more into that?
I mean, to me, it shows about he's this old fucking bandit. And he's like, I'm going to take this money.
Yeah. I guess I wanted to see a little more of what that's all about. You know what I mean? Because I just like see some more of the financial issues of his life to kind of like put that in context. You know what I mean? Because what's he going to use the money for? He seems like he just cares about feeding pigs to pigs and chopping trees down and saying old phrases about pigs. They eat their own. That's pig don't mean nothing other to a pig. You got the wrong.
Thought it was good.
I like that one line. You got the wrong pig by its ear. I like that one.
There was some good stuff. I thought it was just really enjoyable.
Stephen Dorff was playing it. Stephen Dorff was playing it a little too much like a villain. I thought, like a little too much like, just I don't know. It didn't work for me. But look, to each his own. I like pegging. You like traditional missionary. I don't know what you like. What's your favorite position?
I mean, ultimately missionary. I like it all. I like reverse cowgirl. I like doggy style. I don't like doggy style the most because I like looking at a face. I like to see a face.
I like to come while looking in their eyes.
Well, I like them to have their eyes closed. I don't want to.
Really? I like interlocking eyes while coming.
All right, this is too weird. I mean, you're so off-putting that it's no good. I
what was more disturbing, me saying that or the execution of Bo Tomahawk?
I can't remember. There was something else that was fun. Oh, I love that he says he's describing him. He's like said to be handsome, which I love, which is like their way of like in 1906 of saying I'm not gay.
He's said to be handsome by some people.
Said to be handsome. I don't know. I don't know shit. I thought it was fun, but yeah, it certainly is similar to a lot of movies. It's similar to 3:10 to Yuma. It's similar to No Country. It's not similar to Mystic River.
But Unforgiven. It's very similar to Unforgiven. I mean, it is.
Let me just say this: you like the Russell Crowe 3:10 to Yuma, right? Please tell me you like.
I thought that was very fun. Fucking
great. So here's the point: Westerns are doing great. 3:10 to Yuma was fucking awesome. Slow West, I loved Old Henry. I love Bone Tomahawk. They're making some great westerns in the last 10 years.
Coen Brothers is a very slept on movie. True Grit
is great. I also love, Hateful Eight is great. And Django is an old western essentially, which I also love.
You remember, I don't know if we talked about this, but I find the ending of True Grit to be so sad.
It's beautiful. We had some lively times. One of my favorite lines ever.
I'm like, people don't talk about that movie a lot, and I guess it kind of got. And I watched it. It's a fun movie with such a intensely depressing ending. Like I was at a silent retreat at the time. I was like crying. It's just like it's this fun movie, and then at the end, it's probably the most moving thing the Coen Brothers have ever done, really, because it's like a fun movie. And then at the end, it's all about how time just moves so quickly. And now she's like an old widow and he's dead. And like the last line is like, what does she say? It's like time moves so fast. It's just like, it hits you in the fucking gut. I don't think people talk enough about how much of a powerhouse that True Grit ending is.
Well, also the score is one of the best ever. It's the only score I have on my phone. Like,
really?
Download. It's beautiful.
The score's great. Yeah, no, it's True Grit's great. Yeah, there's a lot of westerns are good. Unforgiven is my favorite, I'd say. You don't love Unforgiven?
I do love Unforgiven. It's just so funny that you're like, oh, cliche and all this shit. I mean, he's like, you just shot an unarmed man. He should have armed himself. I mean, it's just, I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but
I do enjoy it,
Unforgiven-
but it's like so Western on the nose. A Western.
No, but
Western.
it adds a whole other new dimension to it when they're like, when you find out he killed women and children, and this is the guy you've been fucking following the whole time. Unforgiven does this thing where, and Clint Eastwood was great at between this and Mr. Griver, where he denies the information of his past, so you actually get to really like the person. But then once you find the information, you're like, oh shit, I probably should not be liking this person, but it's too late. So it gets you this really interesting, uncomfortable feeling. The same thing kind of happens in Mr. Griver. But with this, it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, they deny the information of the Billy the Kid, but it doesn't like affect you the way in Unforgiven when you find out at the end that this hero used to be drunk and just killed women and children. Like, I mean, that's just a crazy, crazy thing. And you don't experience that in other Westerns that I've seen, you know.
I mean, I experienced it in Old Henry, but you didn't. Let the audience decide. Go watch it. Nobody's
or like
seen
Old
movie. I hope it's
Hacks.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the other thing. I feel bad. I feel like no one's seen it. I feel like I'm shitting on like a friend's student film, but like, but you know.
Well, they'll go watch it. We destroyed the surprise, but whatever. I mean, I knew because when I heard his name, I was like, oh, I know what's going on here.
I mean, well, yeah. What are they gonna just be like? Oh no, Billy the Kid was someone else. like we're just bringing that up for no reason. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, go watch. If you haven't seen Bone Tomahawk though, like, I mean, you like Bone Tomahawk a lot more, right?
Ultimately, yes, but I did love both. It's hard because it's like you watch one and you're like, I love this. You watch the other one, you're like, I love this. So ultimately, Bone Tomahawk, I like better because Kurt Russell is just so good, and Richard Jenkins was so good. I mean,
that's the thing. It's just a better fucking cast. That's the thing, you know.
Yeah, the cat and that guy Matthew Fox. Who what's he in? He's in Lost or something.
Yeah, I think he's in Lost. I don't really know him, but he's great in this. Yeah, I mean, it's just and the main guy. We didn't even talk about him. I mean, the Christian dude. He's always playing like a.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's great and
almost Chris Pratt.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, no, but see Bone Tomahawk, and I guess if you got time, see Old Henry. Though I tell you when he spun.
Well, Old Henry is 1 hour shorter.
Sure. Well, I still think you should see Bone Tomahawk, but you know when he spins the gun at the end, it really made me.
Old Henry.
Yeah, it really makes me think of the Alec Baldwin, like you know what I mean, because I feel like that's what was happening when he shot. You know. I don't know, but is that movie gonna come out? No, they must have stopped production, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's done. They shot the DP in the middle of the production, so it'll be a minute. That's an important position. I've only made one movie, but I know the DP is it's crucial. They do the filming, so you need a head of the camera department.
He shot one of the few like women cinematographers.
Yeah, I think like the one.
Yeah, that's how sexist he is. He killed the only women photographer.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? Did anyone get shot on your film?
No.
That's good.
I wanted to shoot myself a couple times, but well, there's no need to see my movie because Raanan told you everything that happens, but
yes, I really ruined. Yes, the great twist in film history. Sixth Sense when you find out he's dead, and Joe's movie when you find out characters grow at the end.
Any jizz. This has been fun.
That was good.
I think this is a great one. It was fun. We had contentious and some laughs, a lot of good riffs.
We got to argue again. I feel like we haven't argued in like 12 years.
Well, the problem is now, because this new system that you came up with is we come up with movies. So we each want to watch movies that we want to watch. We got to watch some bad movies.
Well, I mean, usually that happens when you recommend some of your old favorites. That's when it gets into a fight. So recommend some, maybe we should just do Rocky. I guess we should do that.
I mean, Rocky, I can't, like, I'll have to end the podcast if you're arguing against Rocky being a great film.
But that's what makes the podcast good. That fight.
I know, but I have to end our friendship. I mean, Rocky is just so fucking good. And you're just wrong about it. I can tell already you're wrong about it.
Should we do Rocky and Raging Bull next?
Rocky and Raging Bull. Oh, wow. I can do Rocky and Raging Bull. I mean, those are two of the best movies ever.
Let's do Rocky and Raging Bull. I mean, yeah.
But we're not in bad movies, though. I mean, like, you can't argue that Rocky's a bad movie. You can argue that you don't like it. You can't be like, this movie's bad.
No, obviously not. Yeah. Well, what's a bad? I don't know what's bad. I haven't seen the. We can figure this out after. I haven't, but there's a lot of old movies. Well, when are we ever watching bad movies? I guess I guess we did Cocktail.
Yeah, but I think there was other ones too we shit on. I mean, what was? Oh, you know what I thought about doing? Because I just watched Jarhead. Sam Mendes. We could do American Beauty and Jarhead. We could trash American Beauty. And I love Jarhead. I really fucking think it's fantastic.
Actually, I'd love to do American Beauty. Because I'd actually be very interested in watching that again, you know? Yeah.
Just you froze right at the very.
I'd be interested in we'll figure it out. I'd be interested in rewatching American Beauty.
Me too. I haven't watched it in years, but I didn't like it then.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I don't think I like, but it's interesting.
I told you one of my stories. I probably told you this before. We watched American. My whole cross country team went and watched American Beauty in the theater, and the scene where he pulls out the plate, the Nazi plate, that has a swastika on it, and the kid behind me with his girlfriend, he went, Hitler. Like he whispered to his girlfriend when they showed this, like they showed a swastika, and he was like, Hitler. I was like, good job, dude. You got it. That means
that's Hitler. That's Hitler's sign. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He's like a homo. That was the first time they had like the homophobe be gay. And then I feel like for a long time after that, everyone thought like if you're homophobic, you're gay. But I think a lot of people just hate gay people.
Absolutely.
Like they're not gay. They're like, I'm not gay. I just don't like them. I'm just a bigot.
There's way more homophobic people that aren't gay than there are homophobic people that are gay.
And you kind of know the ones who are gay because they're just like, go to gay conversion camp. I'm a Republican senator. But they have like an effeminate voice. And it's just kind of obvious. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say it's like 98% to 2%.
Yeah. Can't people just hate people? Man, it's not right. But can't they just hate them without wanting to be it, you know?
Of course.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I hate Puerto Ricans. I don't want to be Puerto Rican, you know?
Did you see Jarhead? You like Jarhead?
When you just ignore it, I have to like explain it's a joke. That's a joke. Seth Simons, if you ever get this clip.
The best joke. If you mention fucking Seth Simons, every fucking podcast, stop bringing this fucking idiot up.
Fine. By the way, I watched your roast. It was great.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. A guy sent me, he was like, the best joke was the Jay Wallet joke. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. And then he's like, my second favorite. And I was like, please be one I wrote. And it was. So that was good.
Oh, what was it?
It was the King Kong.
Oh, yeah,
chubby climber.
No, it was great. It was you crushed it. It was awesome. It was awesome to watch.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was fun. So
we crushed it.
But Jarhead, we'll talk about Jarhead.
Should we do Jarhead? Yeah, I guess we should do Jarhead. Yeah.
Jarhead American Beauty.
Yeah, I mean we could do 1917, but yeah, I guess we could. Oh, but yeah.
That's not Sam Mendes, is it?
Yeah, it is Sam Mendes.
Oh wow.
Because that's really good too. But I've never seen Jarhead.
What? You love 1917?
I thought it was pretty fun. I saw it in theaters.
I saw it in theaters too.
No, you didn't like it?
I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I just thought it was the most overrated. Like people talked about it like it was some fucking brilliant thing. Often they try to do the trick thing doesn't make it great. It's all one take.
Yeah, I know. It's also not one take. It's always like a movie like they think it's all one take, except it's not. So it's not even the thing.
Yeah, and it's just like it becomes like detrimental to the movie. I'm just like, it's fine. I liked it.
Yeah, it was weird. I thought there's some great sequences, but yeah, no, it's not great. And it's kind of the ending. It's kind of ultimately like a corny thing because it's just like, if you try really hard and believe in yourself, you'll get to the end.
I know. It was just like,
but there was a couple. I mean, the scene where the other guy dies is pretty amazing. The other main character.
Yeah, there was some good stuff, but whatever. But I don't know Sam Mendes that well, but I think Jarhead's his best movie. I fucking love that movie.
So Jarhead's great. All right, we'll discuss.
I think so, but it's not unanimously great. It's like a movie that a lot of people just didn't think was great, but I really enjoyed it a lot. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. And Jake Gyllenhaal, I just love. I want to just fucking let that guy come in my mouth.
You liked him so much, you even liked that one fucking movie that was terrible.
Which one?
The 911 movie that you recommended.
Did I recommend it? I liked it.
It bombed. We bombed on the tour bus.
We agreed though. Like the end, it's not as good. It comes apart. The twist makes the movie come apart.
But yeah, it was a good idea. But yeah, so yeah, we'll decide officially what we're gonna do. We'll post it on the Instagram page in the next couple of days.
All right.
But where can they find you? See you perform.
Subscribe to my YouTube. Got the special coming out. I'm going to Berlin. People keep asking me the fucking venue. I forget the name of it because it's like Heischenweisen or
on your own like or with Louis.
December 11th. Yeah, well, with my wife.
Oh, you're doing Berlin? You're doing a show in Berlin? Let me know how it is.
Yeah, and a bunch of people are reaching out. Yeah, so December 11th, Berlin. And then Providence Comedy Connection, November 26th and 27th.
So funny.
And then I'm doing one night only in Cleveland at Hilarities, Wednesday, December 1st.
So funny to be like, I'm doing Berlin and then like Rhode Island.
Yeah, Providence, home of Richard Jenkins. Maybe I can get him to come.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's interesting.
You go. You want to talk, so you go.
Well, it's interesting you said Richard Jenkins from New England. Do you kind of credit anyone from New England as part of your group, kind of?
I mean, it's exciting if somebody's from your area.
That's a big area, though. I thought you just do state. I'd be like if someone from Kentucky. I'm not like if someone.
It's a big area, but the states are tiny. That's the thing.
You're right. You're right.
Like,
they should all just be combined.
Like Rhode Island, he's from 40 minutes from my house. If you say Texas is 3 times the size of New England.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like Rhode Island is closer to where I grew up than Austin is to Houston.
Yeah,
by like 100 times.
And they should combine a couple of those states that could combine, like New Hampshire and Maine. That can just be one state. It's not necessary.
Rhode Island is like smaller than Houston.
Yeah, no, it's great. You're right. Just making sure.
Yeah.
So
terrible point.
So all right, you can see me at where am I? I'm at Go Bananas, but I'll be done with that. By the time this comes out.
Glad you brought it up.
And then you can see me at I'll be in Clinton, Massachusetts.
Clinton?
Is that a place?
I don't think so. Canton, Massachusetts?
It's somewhere. It's somewhere near Boston on November 18th. And then I'm doing the Funny Bone. I'm headlining the Funny Bone in Albany on November.
Where in Massachusetts? Clinton. There's no town called Clinton near Boston.
Am I getting scammed again?
Maybe.
Hold on. No,
it's Chelsea, Massachusetts, Cambridge.
Oh, maybe it's Cambridge. No, you said
which is a big city, not a big city, but a well-known city. MIT and Harvard.
Clinton, Massachusetts is a real place. It says
Clinton, Mass.
Yeah, is it bad that
that's
you've
not
never
near Boston?
It's like an hour away.
Well, that's not near Boston.
No, that's not. I guess you just told me Rhode Island is like 20 minutes away.
Where the fuck is Clinton? Must be like Central Mass or Western Mass. I have no idea.
Sterling Street Brewery. Yeah, Clinton, Massachusetts. Well, if you're there, I'm sorry that Joe doesn't think it's real. But come to Clinton, Mass, and then I'm headlining the Albany Funny Bone November 19th through 20th. Come there, and then I'm at Vermont. I'm doing 2 shows in Vermont, December 4th. And then I'm at the Velveeta Room in Austin, December 10th through 11th, and the Riot in Texas, December 17th and 18th. And most importantly, if you're listening to this and you live in New York, please, for the love of God, go on my Instagram page, my bio, click on the link there and reserve tickets to my taping. It's at the Comedy Cellar, December 21st at 8 and 10 p.m. I'm taping my special. I need people there. It's a lot of seats. Show's already sold out his immediately, so come to mine.
Sorry, looking up Clinton. No, Clinton, Mass is in like central Massachusetts, near Worcester, I guess, but not exactly a big market. It's north of Worcester.
Oh shit,
that's gonna be a tough sell. That might be a lonely gig.
Yeah, fuck me. And then I have to go to fucking Albany. Oh boy. But anyway, well, we'll see how it goes, and it should be all right. I'm worried you've never heard of it. I'm like, God, this must be a small town.
Yeah, it's not going to be great. But all right, 17-14, Penn State, Michigan. I got to go watch this. This podcast has been fantastic.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, and we love you, and we really appreciate
it. All right, that was great. All right, hit stop
awesome.
for God's sakes.